Hey guys, hope you're having an awesome day. Today we're going to be doing a full face of my most recent kind of favorite products. I also have a couple hair favorites that I'll show you guys at the end as well. Speaking of hair, I just got my hair done. I hope that you guys like it. I'm really loving this super golden blonde lately. It just looks, I don't know, it just looks very natural and bright and shiny, and I don't care if it looks a little bit brassy. I like it. Anyway, let's get started. I have already moisturized my skin with my Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Gel. This has been a favorite of mine for literally years. I don't need to say anything more about it. For foundations, I've been consistently liking two different kind of concoctions. The first one is a mixture of my Stellar Limitless foundation with this Femme Couture Rosé All Day foundation. And this foundation here was a super random gemstone that I bought at Sally Beauty Supply. I know. It's just one of those things that I would never have picked up if I wasn't doing a full face of Sally Beauty makeup, and I ended up really liking it. It's super hydrating, makes your skin feel super plump and smooth, and it has really great coverage. So I like to mix these two together because it gives me like a really nice glowy base, especially for this winter weather that we're having. Even though I have oily skin, my skin does tend to feel a little bit dry and crackly when it's really cold, so I love that. The other mixture I've been loving is this Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation mixed with this Becca First Light Priming Filter. This is such a good combination, and actually this primer just mixed with like any really matte foundation makes it just a little bit thinner, a little bit more natural and smooth looking. So this is a really great mixture as well. I think I'm gonna go with this first concoction that I mentioned because my skin is like a little bit drier. It's been really cold here the last couple of days. So I basically just do like a pump of each on the back of my hand. This Femme Couture foundation is in the shade Alabaster, and it's actually a little bit too pale for me, whereas the Stellar Limitless foundation is a little bit too dark for me. So I just like to mix them together. I've just been really liking using this Sigma flat angled kabuki. This is the F88. This has been really one of my favorites to apply foundation. Okay, so foundation is on. I feel like it's looking a little bit pale right now, but in real life, I swear it looks normal. I'm then going to be going in with my Cover FX Power Play Concealer. This has been a newer purchase in the last couple weeks, and I haven't totally decided if I really like it or not. So I'm just going to keep trying it out. I think that it has really nice coverage, and I really like the consistency of it. It spreads out really nicely and it dries down very fast. But I do believe that one of the claims on it is that it is non-creasing, which I'm pretty sure this does crease. But I do like it. I just don't know if I love it yet. I'll keep you posted. So something that I've been doing lately that I have really never done up until recently is a little bit of baking. So these loose powders here, these are both from the brand Stellar. If you've never heard of them before, you can get it at Sephora online. And I have two different shades here. I've got Glow 01, which has a little bit of a tint to it. And then I've got the shade Haiiii, which looks kind of whitish purple in the container, but it's actually totally translucent. And I actually pour a little bit of the Glow 01, which is the tinted shade, into the Haiiii shade. I really do this because, okay, I just turned down the brightness, so hopefully that's a little better. But yeah, so basically the Glow 01, which is the tinted shade, is a little bit too dark on its own, so I really need to brighten it up with something a little bit lighter. And I've been baking down the sides of my nose, like, ta-da, like so. And I'll do a tiny bit just in that area because I tend to have pretty large pores, and then just right around my smile lines because my makeup tends to crease there. The reason that I do it on the sides of my nose is kind of to give myself a little bit of a guideline for nose contouring, because usually I have a really hard time contouring my nose because the lines just never go straight. My nose is not flat and perfectly straight itself. Oh, and I should mention this brush I have been absolutely loving. This is the Sigma Precision Angled P84 brush, and it's just kind of a small angled brush. It's a little bit wide you would think for nose contouring, but I find that, I don't know, it works for me. Just wiping away that powder. And now I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of contour right at the tip of my nose. The actual contour product that I'm using today is Baby Don't Go, which is a blush by MAC, which is obviously just kind of like a taupey shade. So for blush, I've kind of gone back to something that I used to use all the time. This is an e.l.f. blush, super cheap, in the shade Brick Red, mostly just a matte red. It does have a couple of tiny little gold shimmers in there, but I find it doesn't show up on the face very much. So I'm just gonna take a stippling brush and just kind of apply it to the apples of my cheeks. There's pretty much nothing more natural than a red blush, because if you think about a natural flush to your cheeks, it's either red or like kind of a darkish pink. And I like to take that a little bit across the nose, and I'm pinching this brush just to make it a little bit thinner. And I'll take that just a little bit along the top of my forehead as well. For highlight, I really love these two lately. This first one is the Collab The Filter highlighting powder in the shade Glow for the Gold. This is another one of those random finds that I got at the Sally Beauty Supply store. It's just so pretty. It just gives you that like, oh, shiny kind of glow. And I've also been going back to another oldish product. This is the Becca Soft Light Blurring Powder in the shade Golden Hour. I probably got this about a year ago, and I've definitely used it on and off, but I've really gotten back into it lately. It is a translucent powder that, I don't know, it doesn't look that shimmery when you have it on your hand, but when you just blend it out right here, it just gives you like this beautiful, beautiful glow. Very, very subtle. So this Becca one is the one that I'm gonna use today. So I'm just gonna dump a little bit out into the cap. It comes in another shade as well. It comes in kind of like a pink opalescent shade, whereas this one is definitely a little bit more peachy. This one would probably work for like a more broad variety of skin tones, but I mean, I'm really, really fair, and it works really well for me as long as I use a light hand with it. It's not very pigmented. It really just gives you this beautiful golden glow. So I really like to put it kind of just in this area here. It does help to blur pores, so that's where I need the most help. And then I just really blend it upwards, and that's really all I do for the highlight recently. And I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but it just gives me this really, really nice, subtle, natural glow. And before I do my brows, I'm going to do a little spritz of my MAC Fix Plus. I recently bought a new bottle of this. This is just, it's just holy grail, honestly. So in the last couple months, I tried to get myself into the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. I don't know, guys. I don't love it as much as my drugstore Maybelline Total Temptation Brow Definer. So that's just what I'm going to continue to use until I find something better. And as always, my e.l.f. brow gel. This is just the clear one today. So I'm not really gonna do much of an eye look today, but I want to give a shout out to the Morphe by Jaclyn Hill palette. This is such a good palette, and if you've been kind of contemplating in your mind, I'm here to tell you, you should really get it. Really nice variety of shades that are actually way more wearable than I ever thought, and I have a whole video on this that I will link up here that you can go watch. In that video, I do swatches of all the colors, and I do an eye look with it. Anyway, spoiler alerts, I really like this palette. And I really, really like this brush that I bought at the same time. This is the Morphe M433 brush. This is my first and only Morphe brush, and I love it. It is a fluffier brush, but it's kind of like if a fluffy brush was pinched. So all I'm really gonna do for this look is take a little bit of this light beigey camel color and just put a tiny bit up here. For mascara, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this CoverGirl Clump Crusher is so good. This one has recently kind of dried out, so I just bought a new one yesterday. So let's crack this puppy open. I actually got the black brown shade this time around because I really like a more natural look, even though pretty much just looks black. I mean, it really does crush the clumps. Okay, and finally for lips, I'm going to be using this ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade BFF. That is it for my makeup favorites. A couple other things I wanted to call out. This is the Verb Hydrating Conditioner. I picked this up at Sephora and I absolutely love it. I've been using it for probably the past month and a half. It feels really hydrating and nourishing without being like heavy or too thick or buttery. It just is a really great overall conditioner. I feel like pretty much anybody would like it, whether you have damaged hair or just normal hair. It's just really nice. I also have been loving this Schwarzkopf Got to Be Powderful Voluminizing Styling Powder. This is actually a really old product. I remember owning it when I was like, I don't know, I want to say a teenager, but it was definitely a long time ago. So what it is kind of like a really sticky kind of powder that you can put into your roots to give you some extra volume. Probably the best way to apply it is actually just to kind of tap it on your roots itself, but just for today, put a little bit of the powder on my fingers and kind of put that through my roots. Just gives them some grit so that they don't really stick to my head as much. Probably needed to apply more there, but I really like that, and I get it at the drugstore, so it's pretty cheap and super random, and no one's even gonna care about this, but I just want to say that I really like this toothpaste. I've been buying it the last couple times that I've had to buy toothpaste now, and someone said to me the other day, like, oh my god, your teeth are so white, and I swear to god it's this. This is the Pronamel Strong and Bright enamel. Okay, now that is the end of this entire video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. You can always subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I put out new ones every single week. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.